नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य सिद्धान्तकौमुद्याः कारकप्रकरणे 41 पाठः। नवेम्बर् मासस्य ऊनविंशः दिनाङ्कः। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। अष्टाध्याय्यां विभक्तिप्रकरणं पठामः। We'll just read it together. अनभिहिते कर्मणि द्वितीया तृतीया च होश्छन्दसे अन्तरान्तरेण युक्ते कालाध्वनोरत्यन्तसंयोगे अपवर्गे तृतीया सप्तमी पञ्चम्यौकारकमध्ये कर्मप्रवचनीययुक्ते द्वितीया यस्मादधिकञ्यस्य चेश्वरवचनं तत्र सप्तमी पञ्चम्यपाङ् परिभिः प्रतिदिनि प्रतिदाने च यस्मात् गत्यर्थकर्मणि द्वितीया चतुर्थ्यौ चेष्टायामनध्वनि चतुर्थी सम्प्रदाने क्रियार्थोपपदस्य च कर्मणि स्थानिनः तुवर्थाच्च भाववचनात् नमस्वस्ति स्वाहा स्वधालं वषड्योगाच्च अन्यकर्मण्यनादरे विभाषा प्राणिषु कर्तकरणयोस्तृतीया सह युक्ते प्रधाने येनाङ्गविकारः इत्थं भूतलक्षणे संन्योन्यतरस्यां कर्मणि हेतौ अकर्तरिणे पञ्चमी विभाषागुणे स्त्रियां षष्ठी हेतुप्रयोगे सर्वनाम्नस्तृतीया च अपादाने पञ्चमी अन्यारादितरर्थे दिक्शब्दाञ्चूत्तरपदाजाहि युक्ते षष्ठ्यतसर्थप्रत्ययेन येन पाद्वितीया पृथग्विना नानाभिस्तृतीयान्यतरस्यां करणे च स्तोकाल्पकृच्छकतिपयस्या सत्त्ववचनस्य दूरान्तिकार्थैः षष्ठ्यन्यतरस्यां दूरान्तिकार्थेभ्यो द्वितीया च सप्तम्यधिकरणे च यस्य च भावेन भावलक्षणं षष्ठी चानादरे स्वामीश्वराधिपतिदायादसाक्षिप्रतिभूप्रसूतैश्च आयुक्तकुशलाभ्यां च सेवायां यतश्च निर्धारणं पञ्चमी विभक्ते साधुनिपुणाभ्याम् अर्चायां सप्तम्यप्रतेः प्रसितोत्सुकाभ्यां तृतीया च नक्षत्रे च लुपि प्रातिपदिकार्थलिङ्गपरिमाणवचनमात्रे प्रथमा सम्बोधने च सामन्त्रितम् एकवचनं सम्बुद्धिः षष्ठी शेषे न्यो विदर्थस्य करणे अधीगर्थदयेषां कर्मणि कृण्यः प्रतियत्ने रुजार्थानां भाववचनानामुज्ज्वरेः आशिषिनाथः जासिनिप्रहणनाटक्राथपृषां हिंसायां व्यवहृपणोः समर्थयोः दिवस्तदर्थस्य विभाषोपसर्गे द्वितीया ब्राह्मणे प्रेष्यब्रुवोर्हविषो देवता सम्प्रदाने चतुर्थ्यर्थे बहुलं छन्दसि यजेश्च करणे कृत्वोऽर्थप्रयोगे कालेऽधिकरणे कर्तृकर्मणोः कृते उभयप्राप्तौ कर्मणि तस्य च वर्तमाने अधिकरणवाचिनश्च न लोकाव्ये निष्ठा खलर्थतृणाम् अकेनोर्भविष्यदाधमर्ण्ययोः कृत्यानां कर्तरि वा तुल्यार्थैरतुलोपमाभ्यां तृतीयान्यतरस्यां चतुर्थी चाशिष्यायुष्यमध्यभद्रकुशलसुखार्थहितैः द्विगुरेकवचनम्। I was deliberately slightly fast because that is the fluency which you should aim for. So, I mean, actually I should because the Ashtadhyayi, I mean, as long as we are reading the Siddhanta Kaumudi, it is slightly difficult to appreciate the importance of Ashtadhyayi. But once you read more, study more and more, and once you go on to the later granthas, we realize that what a handicap it is to not know the Ashtadhyayi in order. I realized it very late. I mean, if I had known this earlier, I'd most certainly have spent at least 6 months of my time completely for memorizing the Ashtadhyayi at least to familiarize myself with the order. Because as you go on, you realize that, I mean, there comes a stage when you start feeling that you don't recognize because you don't know the Ashtadhyayi. It's very, very, very important. And I mean, somehow in the Siddhanta Kaumudi Krama, I am sure Dikshita did not intend it, and probably even the great teachers of the past, like say 2 generations before, they still appreciated the importance. But what happened is, at least in my time when I learned, there was no much, the importance of Ashtadhyayi was not stressed upon, and because of which I feel I lose a lot now, because it makes a huge difference to how you understand and how you remember the application of sutras. If you just know the Ashtadhyayi, once you study it, it sits in your mind. But without the Ashtadhyayi, it's like, okay, you studied it for so many years, but still you don't know what it is.
So this has been my question I wanted to ask sometime. Maybe you can say it is almost 3 years late. I'm asking this question. We started in 2010. But there are always two schools of thought. One goes with vritti and, read the sutras, memorize the vritti and then go for it. And other school of thought is that. And then people like Dr. Pushpa Dikshit and all, they say, adhikarana wise, studies and so on. So what is the best, what is the best way of,
I don't know. I should say I'm still working around with them. I myself am trying to find out. But see, Pushpa Dikshit's method is amazing, amazingly good. I've attended a few of her classes, and it's the most logical thing to go by Prakaranam. Okay, once you study everything, you finally realize that that is the one which makes the most sense. But my question is, will it work at the beginner stage? I'm not sure. Because I've attended a few, say she had a 15-day course on Kriya Pada, and it was like mind-boggling was the only word to use for it. She goes through it in such a different way. But the thing is, only because I had already studied the Kaumudi on that, I was able to appreciate it and I was able to understand it. If that were my introduction to, say, at least at that pace, I could not have kept pace with it. So, still trying to find out actually.
It's almost like a catch-22. You don't understand sutras. If I just read, let's say Prathamavati or something, and just go sutra by sutra, read the meaning, anuvritti and all, I have no idea what they are talking about. Then it looks to me, then Kaumudi makes real sense because I know what I am intending to do. But then I lose the other side, so I know it's kind of a tough question to answer.
I feel, there should be a balance, or at least, you read the Kaumudi and you read that, or there should be a way where, you merge both and read it as in, yes, because at the beginning stage, well, she also stresses the fact that Siddhanta Kaumudi is the best sutrartha you have. She, even though she is opposed to the order in the Siddhanta Kaumudi, she tells that Siddhanta Kaumudi is the best sutrartha, and it is the Siddhanta. To know the Siddhanta, you need the Kaumudi. But that's what just to know the Prakriya. The problem comes in cases, say, not in, say, Karaka or Samasa, where, say, the Artha is more important than the Prakriya. But in, say, Prakriya intense Prakaranas, especially in things like the Tinganta Prakarana, you find that the Siddhanta Kaumudi is very it is very frustrating because you go through the entire Bhadigana. Bhadigana has some 1010 dhatus, and I did the Bhadigana over 1.5 years with my teacher. We did it entirely, dhatu by dhatu. We did not leave a single dhatu. At the end of it, when I saw, can I tell the Prakriya of a few dhatus today? Some of them. Common ones I might be able to tell, but still I cannot claim that I know the Tinganta Prakarana.
Okay.
So that is a huge thing. You go through it and you don't get that sense of knowing it. There are always some broken links. So for that, actually I'm trying to see what, okay, we are losing some time in class today, but I think this is a discussion worth it. And what we do after the Karaka Prakarana, I have, I was thinking of, should we go through the Samasa or should we go through a few of Prakriya, because Prakriya Jnana is very important, and I was also thinking if we can do the Tinganta Prakriya in a different way rather than just, just focus on Prakriya, not on the Artha. The Siddhanta and the debates can come later. So this was just a thought. So I wanted to ask you, maybe, I might have raised this topic in the next class, but what would you all like? A bit of Prakriya, mostly concentrating on Prakriya, or just the Shastrartha, in the Siddhanta Kaumudi way. Because I mean, once why I also raised this, that I thought important to know the Tinganta and Kridanta Prakriya was because we are doing the Praudhamanorama and he simply keeps quoting examples after examples where it is all about the Prakriya, some catch in the Prakriya. Where at least if there is some basic level of familiarity, people might be able to appreciate it better. Yes, in Kridantas, Tingantas, etc. So,
I mean, to me personally, I'm sure everybody can send you their this thing. For me personally, the whole Tinganta, if you can give us a prakriya, that will be, if you can give us what sutras are for Vikarana, what sutras are for this thing. If you can divide the whole Tinganta into, like Pushpa Dishita has done, something like that.
I was actually thinking of doing something through, I mean, not exactly her method maybe, but at least the approach is hers and maybe giving the sutrata and going it slow rather than this. But I mean, I would like opinions from everybody. I feel that would be useful and tell me, sorry.
Because, okay.
You did.
Yes, you were saying something.
No, I was telling that to me will be very useful because I mean I try to go through Tinganta, as you said, going through the whole. I mean I've gone through some of the Lagu Siddhanta, but at the end of it, I cannot really say that I have understood that as much as I would love to. So I've been confused and I looked at some web and all, and that's where I found Dr. Dikshit's thing. But then she covers all 2200 dhatus for Lat once before she can go to that to me is that's the other extreme of the.
It's an amazing approach. I mean, you have to actually understand. I mean, you have to actually appreciate it. You have to, as I said, struggle through the dhatus one by one, and then you realize that this is it. And I mean, the feel itself is so different. It's like a completely different side of the thing. Of course, at first you're awed by it, and then you realize that at the beginning stage, will it work or not, and so on. But what did others think? I mean, I was thinking, as I said, of Tinganta Prakriya and probably a bit of introduction to Kridantas with reference to the major pratyayas and their Prakriya before we come back to this thing.
I mean, to me, if you can at least give us the sets of dhatus for like what goes into starting with how to identify Atmane Pada, Prasma Pada, the whole thing where the whole machinery, then at least we have a way, then we can work on it in the meantime while you are doing Samatha Prakarana. That will help.
I think, but I mean, as I said, it will take me some time to actually sit and plan that class. And also I have committed for a couple of classes now. So probably there will be a break of 2 months or something after we finish Karaka Prakarana. And then we'll come back with, that's what I have to yet to decide what we come back with. If we decide on Tinganta, I mean, there's
a book by V. Rangan. I don't know whether it's you already have looked at it. This gentleman is from Nagpur. I don't know, V. Rangan. It's a small book. It's not like there he has classified all the prakarana by prakarana. He has classified the sutras. Let's say Akyata prakarana, Akyata kriya. Then he says in that he will say Atmane Bade. What are all the sutras? So he just table by table he has just given the sutra.
Which is this book? I don't think I have not seen this.
It's a white color book, V. Rangan, and it's not a very known book, I think.
What is the title?
It says Paniniya Vyakaranam. Yeah, this is. I mean, I was in that Jayalakshmi store. I happened to see this book. I picked it up.
Oh, okay.
This is the Paniniya Vyakaranam by Pragatam Salaramcha, Lekhak V. Rangan. And I can scan the title and send you, or I can take it. So there he gives a nicely whole of Siddhanta Kaumudi. He has just given only sutras by Prakarana by Prakarana. So I was thinking maybe, so he has already done some of this kind of, so that's where I found like Abhyasa Karya Prakaranam, Durvachana Prakaranam. Then he said, said, eating Nisheda Prakaranam. So he comes with Prakaranam, gives all the sutras. Then at the end he said Prakriya. Then he said,
Dikshit has also done. Okay. Yeah. If you look at, the Ashtadhyayi of Pushpa Dikshit, it is useful in that way. She labels each, in the Ashtadhyayi order. So it's just the Ashtadhyayi Sutra Patha, but it comes with the Prakarana labels. Say, she
Okay.
says Karaka Adhikara, and then she says Apadana Prakaranam, Sampradana Prakaranam, so on. For each set of things come with those headings. Prakarana Nirdesha Samanvitaha, Ashtadhyayi Sutra Patha. It's useful.
Okay.
So Paniniya Paddhatihi.
Yeah, Paniniya Vyakaranam. It's a white color book. Pragatam Saralam cha. I will take a picture and send it to you by mail.
Yeah, no problem. So the one which Bhanu Prakash says seems to be different. Maybe he's written something else.
Yeah, he has written both. He has written for beginners, which has got only the, which does not have so many this thing. The beginners one is like a Rupa, Rupa Dhatu and like what you call Rupa Chandrika kind of a thing.
Rupa Chandrika.
It doesn't have a lot of sutras, but this one is total Kaumudi covered Prakarana by Prakarana. And because I was looking at the what we have studied just now, and he's given all this thing, nicely given. So I was thinking maybe I should have this one and then look at Tinganda Prakarana, and I was just in my mind I was, because as you said, I'm confused because if I read this, I lose that. If I do that, I don't know, I don't understand. So I was kind of.
No problem. I'll see. I see how I can do it. So, how many others are interested in Pragatam Saralam?
That is the one. That's the one. Vyanini Vyakana Pragatam Saralam cha. Yeah, that's the one. So, nice book actually. It's a small book. It's not a bhashya and all. There's nothing. Only sutrartha. That's it. And maybe it will help you prepare materials and stuff like that.
Yeah, I should look at it. Okay, what about the others? Sorry, if anybody wants to say something about this, interested in Tingantas? Or do you think?
And the other thing I struggle is, I think I asked you this question before, but you said you didn't do much of that. But is there any list of like must know dhatus, which is commonly used? I know Rupa Chandrika has got 500 dhatus, and if you look at Kaumudi, he has given all the dhatus, which is impossible for me to memorize. But is there anything which you can say that like Lagu Baimi has given assorted dhatus, which is covered by Lagu Siddhanta? Maybe I'm thinking.
Yeah, we should definitely be able to do it. Once we go through the Tinganta Prakarana, there is always, the pattern is the same wherever we go in Panini. There is a general and there is Vishesha. So Samanya, say if you take Patati for Vadigana, there is one dhatu, And Dikshita has done that. She says like, everything together. There are some 57 special dhatus. Okay, which have a different, special in the sense of prakriya, not in the sense of this. Right. So among them we can see which are commonly used, because some of them might be totally dhatus which are not in current use. So we can definitely make a list of it at the end of it, so that it is easier.
Just so that to memorize at least few things. Because there is a book, Dhatu Ratnakara. That 7-volume or 5-volume or that is. He classifies the dhatus totally differently. He goes by the ending, thing. So everybody does it differently. If you look at the dhatu, dhatu.
That is also Dikshit's approach. It depends on what is this. So yeah, we will see. I'll see how I can make it. But yes, I know Samasa Prakarana is definitely important. But yeah, for understanding the other Prakarana, if you want to go to other things of grammar, Tinganta is what appears very handy, because every sentence will have a Tinganta, and without understanding Tinganta, that's a bit difficult to, especially if you're going through other literature or kavyas or say bhashya or anything. So we will definitely do Samasa Prakarana. We're not skipping it, but maybe we should just do something on Tingantas and come back, especially since we have had a heavy Prakarana in the Karaka. Okay, it's mostly about the Artha and not the Prakriya. So Prakriya is very interesting and it is fun to do if done in the right way. So let us see. I've not yet crystallized my thoughts on it, but I'll think on it. I'll definitely do Samasa Prakaranam, don't worry about it. But maybe just a few months of Tingantas and then coming back. It's not yet very, I don't yet, as I said, have a very clear idea of what I will do, but I'll think more about it since many people are interested in Tingantas, and then let us see what we can get out of it.
I mean, just for my own this thing, I don't think we will let go of you after Kaumudi. We are going to do Bhashya.
Let's hope so. I mean, that would be very feeling for me also. Let us see where to introduce Bhashya, because currently I don't have the confidence to say I can teach Bhashya. Okay, so we'll at least do a bit of class today. So I don't think we'll be able to complete Saptami today. It will be for the next class. We'll wrap up Saptami in the next class.
Muted.
Okay, so Saptami Bhakti Prakarane Adhikaranam Adhikaranasya Saptami Tataha Hyaha Vartikam Adhiktam Nimittat Karmayoge Nimittam Nama Phalam Kriyayaha Phalam Phalavachakasya Saptami Bhakti Bhavati Yada Karmana Saha Yogaha Sanyogaha Samayova Vidyate Charmani Dvipinam Hanti Vyagrasya Hananam Kriyate Charmartham Charma Tatra Phalam Phalavachakasya Saptami Bhakti Drishyate Tasya cha कर्मणा नाम द्वीपिना सह संयोगः अपि अस्ति चर्मणि द्वीपिनं हन्ति दन्तयोर्हन्ति कुञ्जरं केशेषु चमरीं हन्ति सीम्नि पुष्कलको हतः यस्य च भावेन भावलक्षणम् इति सूत्रम् यस्य क्रियया क्रियान्तरं लक्ष्यते. As I said, one kriya is used as an indicator for the other kriya. Okay. Goshu vyomanashu gataha. He went while the cows were being milked. So the dohana kriya is lakshana for gamana kriya. So as I said, it should be kriya on both sides. Ravichandranji mentioned two examples from the Kashika. Say jatabhihi yo jatabhihi so bhunkte. So he who is eating, he is eating. So eating, the lakshana who is eating is yaha jatabhihi. So he who has matted hair. So there actually it is a lakshana for the person and not the, the jata is not a kriya. Kriyaya kriyantaram na lakshyate. Dravyena kriyantaram lakshyate ityataha asya sutrasya pravrittihi nasti. Similarly, what was the other example?
Unmuted.
Saha devadattaha. So he who eats is devadatta, where the bhojana kriya is a
Muted.
for dravya again, devadatta, and not a kriya. So in both those cases, you do not have the bhava lakshana saptami. The bhava lakshana saptami or sati saptami occurs when one action is used as an indicator for the other. So tatraiva shashti cha anadare asti. Tatraiva yatra kriyaya kriyantaram lakshyate tatra anadare dyotye. When there is intention to convey anadara, that is the kriya which is the lakshana is not considered or is ignored by the person. Say rudataha pravrajit. So even as his family, the wife and children were all crying, he took sannyasa, which means he ignoring the act of crying. Rudataha pravrajit. You have the pravrajana kriya, and therefore there is anadara. Okay, so in that case you can have both shashti and saptami, but shashti is the one which more effectively conveys anadara. Agrimam sutram asti swamishwaradhipati dayada sakshi pratibhu prasutaischa. Okay, so there is only two words: Swami, Ishvara, Adhipati, Dayada, Sakshi, Pratibhu, Prasutaihi, Cha. Saptami adhikarane cha ityatah saptami iti anuvartate. Shashti cha anadare ityatah shashti ityapi anuvartate. Etaihi saptabhihi yoge shashti saptamyau staha. So this is an upapada saptami. So when associated with these 7 words: Swami, Ishvara, Adhipati, Dayada, Sakshi, Pratibhu and Prasuta. So we have both षष्ठी and सप्तमी षष्ठी विभक्तिः सप्तमी विभक्तिश्च भवति षष्ठ्यामेव प्राप्तायां पाक्षिकसप्तम्यर्थं वचनं सूत्रस्य अभावे शेषे षष्ठी इत्यनेन षष्ठी विभक्तिर्भवति अनेन सूत्रेण तु विकल्पेन सप्तमी अपि विधीयते गवां गोषु वा स्वामी गवां स्वामी गोषु स्वामी ही इज द लॉर्ड ऑफ कौस इत्यर्थे षष्ठी तथा सप्तमी गवां गोषु वा इति व्याख्याने go sambandhi ityartha. So the artha there is still sambandha which is generally governed by shashti. Here we also have sambandhi. Gavam goshuva ishvaraha. So he gives the other examples. He just says Swami. Gavam goshuva adhipatihi. Gavam goshuva dayadaha. So he gives a interpretation. What is dayada? Putradibhihi grahitum yogyah pitradyarchita dhanamshaha dayah. Tam adatte iti dayadaha. So daya bhaga is that portion which you are entitled, a person is entitled to inherit from his father or forefathers. Putradibhihi grahitum yogyah pitradyarjita dhanamshaha. So the wealth which was earned by his father or other forefathers, which is he is entitled to receive. That is daya. Okay, that portion is called daya. Daya atti, dayam atti. So all those who are entitled to it are called dayadas of each other. So I mean generally dayada is used in the sense of cousins. I mean, yeah, it is used in the sense of cousins, but the actual interpretation is the derivation of the word is those who are entitled to receive the inheritance. So if there is a grandfather and all his grandchildren are dayadas, that is they are entitled for his inheritance and they are cousins. Okay, I mean effectively it turns out to be cousins, but the derivation of the word is that way. Putradibhihi grahitum yogyah pitradyarchita dhanamshaha dayah tam adatte iti dayadaha. Atonupasarge kavidhau anupasarga grahane satyapi atayeva nipatanat kaha. It says the word dayada, the ad is the dhatu, so there is a kak pratyaya nipatanat because it is given as a siddha swarupa in the same sutra in the Swami Ishwaradhipati dayada. We have this. Go sambandhi dayadaha ityarthaha. Gavam cha daye anvayaha. So the go is that is what it means, the gavam dayadaha or goshu dayadaha. Yasmadadhikam iti sutra, okay, sorry. Gavam cha daye anvayaha nitya sakankshatvad vrittihi gavatmakasya amshasya adata iti phalitaha arthaha. So it means the person who ati means generally it means to eat, but it means to enjoy, or even it is used in the sense of having it, to experience. I mean, bhoga ityarthepi it literally means to eat, but I mean it does not mean he eats cows. He enjoys or he. Okay. Bhunkte, that is also the bhoga. The word bhoga itself is that. It is, I mean, generally it means to eat, but it is also to bhoga. So gavatmakasya amshasya adata iti phalitorthaha. It means he who takes a share of those cows. Yasmadadhikam iti sutra bhashye tu dayada shabdaha swami paryayaha iti sthitam. It is also used as a synonym of owner, but it is the ownership which is got through inheritance. So gavam goshuva swami. Gavam goshuva prasutaha. Born among cows. So what does it mean? The Mula itself gives gaha eva anubhavitum jataha ityarthaha. You say, I mean, he is born among cows. I mean, he is born in a family which has a lot of cows and he can enjoy that all that wealth. Gaha eva anubhavitum jataha ityarthaha. Okay, so Swami Ishwaradhipati dayada sakshi pratibhu prasutaischa. अग्रिमं सूत्रमस्ति आयुक्तकुशलायां च आसेवायां पदत्रयम् आयुक्तकुशलाभ्यां च आसेवायां सप्तमी षष्ठी इति अनुवर्तेते अभ्याम योगे षष्ठी सप्तम्यौ स्तः तात्पर्ये अर्थे. So in association with the words ayukta and kushala, when it means aseva, tatparya, that is to be fully engaged in it, very interested and engaged in it, tasmin arthe bhavati tatparya iti. Outsukye ityarthaha. He is very enthusiastic about it and he does it with wholeheartedly. Tasmin arthe. Outsukye ityarthaha. Tatpare prasita sakta vishtarthodyukta utsukaha ityamara. Okay. Ayuktaha vyapāritaha. So ayuktaha is he is engaged in doing it. I mean, he started doing something. Vyapāritaha. He started acting towards something. Ayuktaha kushalaha va haripujane haripujanasya va. So you can say haripujane ayuktaha or haripujanasya ayuktaha. It means he started doing worship. Haripujanam kartum vyapāritaha udyataha ityarthaha. And the additional meaning is aseva. By the additional meaning conveyed by the saptami, because shashti you would have had it through shesha shashti. So visheshena arthaha autsukyam api asti. He is doing it wholeheartedly with enthusiasm. Tasmin arthe haripujane ayuktaha athava haripujanasya ayuktaha. Evameva haripujane kushalaha. He is skilled. You could be skilled at something, but you might not be interested in it. You might just be doing it for the sake of doing it. But here haripujane kushalaha, the emphasis added by the saptami is of indicating of that tatparya. Okay. So usually you would have had shashti. So even though he says you can use shashti or saptami, that extra effect is given by the saptami because saptami occurs only in that particular sense. It means that he is doing it with interest and enthusiasm. Tatparya utsukyam vidyate ityarthaha. So ayuktah kushalo va iti. Haripujana vishaye ayuktaha pravartitaha ityarthaha. Somebody asked him to do Haripuja and he is doing it, but he himself has the interest to do it. Atra vaishayika adhikaranatva vivakshayam saptamyam eva praptayam sambandhamatra vivakshayam tu shashthyam eva praptayam vachanam. So it says, I mean, there could be saptami even in the sense of adhikarana, just adhikarana. Haripujana vishaye ayuktaha iti vaishayika adhikaranam athava shesha shashti sambandhamatra vivakshayam kevalam shashti bhavati asmin arthe tu shashti saptami iti vibhakti dvayasyapi prasaktihi asti anena sutrena. Asevayam kim ayukto gauhu shakate. Kimartham asevayam iti vidyate. He says gauhu shakate ayuktaha. Ayuktaha nama ishadyuktaha. Ang ishadarthe kriya yoga ityadina. Ishadarthe ang iti. Slightly tied. I mean not completely yoked. Slightly yoked in the cart. Ayuktaha gauhu shakate. So asmin arthe tu shashtyaha prayogah nasti. This is only adhikaranatva vivakshayam केवल सप्तमी एव भवति न तु षष्ठी. The next rule is very important, as in it is seen very often. Yatascha nirdharanam. The prayoga is very common. Yataha cha nirdharanam. Iti padatrayam षष्ठी सप्तमी इति द्वयमपि अनुवर्तते. यत्र निर्धारणं नाम किं? जाति गुण क्रिया संज्ञाभिः समुदायात् एकदेशस्य पृथक्करणं निर्धारणं. So what is nirdarana? He says samudayad ekadeshasya prithakkkaranam. You separate a part from a group. Samudayat ekadeshasya prithakkkaranam. And how? By what means? You can separate it on the basis of jati, guna, kriya or samnya. Okay, so that is called nirdharanam. Nirdharanam yataha. So from that which you separate, from that group from which you separate apart. So tataha shashti saptamyo staha. So on that you have shashti and saptami. So jati guna iti. Where is it? Yata iti tata iti cha panchamyarthe tasihi. So yataha and tataha, it means the tasi in the panchamyartha. Tasmat yasmat samudayat ekadeshasya jati guna kriya samnyabhihi prithakkkaranam nirdharana shabdavachyam gamyate tasmat shashti saptamyo. So if you remove all the visheshanas there, yasmat samudayat ekadeshasya prithakkkaranam tasmat shashti saptamyo. So that group from which you are separating a part of it, So on that group word which indicates that samudaya, you have shashti or saptami. Okay, so separation is on the basis of one of these, jati, guna or kriya or samya. And why do you do that? So because to indicate a special quality or a special thing in that. Okay, you'll understand when you see the examples. Nrinam nrishu va brahmanaha shreshtaha. So among men, a Brahmin is the best. So when you're saying that nrinam nrishu, nrinam samudaying a class, okay, of Brahmins. So there the Brahmana is the Ekadesha, which is separated from the samudaya of Naras. So there Nr iti samudaya vachaka nrinam brahmanaha shreshtaha athava nrishu brahmanaha shreshtaha. So the separation of here is by on account of the jati, the class. You are separating the brahmanas as a class. Okay. So jatya nirdharanam. So that is nirdharana. You are separating a thing because to say some special quality. Okay. Nrinam nrishu va iti. Nr shabdaha manushya samudaye vartate. Udbhutavayava bheda vivakshayam bahuvachanam. So it is a samudaya. When you say a samudaya can be indicated by two things. When you intend it as a group, it is ekavachana. If you intend it as a group where each part is separately tangible, they have bahuvachana. That is how we can either have sarvaha or sarve. Sarvojanaha or sarve janaha. Both of them are correct. Okay. So in both cases you are covering the entire samudaya, but in one case it is the vivaksha as a group as a whole, and in the other case it is vivaksha of a group where the individual entities are separate. Okay. So here, so you can have bahuvachana. Manushya samudaye vartate udbhutavayava bheda vivakshayam bahuvachanam, saying dvijaha or brahmanaha. So it does not mean a single Brahmin. It means the class. So tatta samudaye ekavachanam. So here only you have examples of both kinds of samudaya. Both of them are groups. In one case it is a udbhutavayava, in the other case it is anudbhutavayava. That is, you are just referring to it as a class and not as the individual entities are separate. You can also say brahmanaha shreshtaha. That is also fine. But brahmanaha shreshtaha is also correct. Vijaha iti tu jatyabhiprayam ekavachanam. षष्ठी सप्तम्योः अवयव अवयविभावः सम्बन्धः अर्थः उदाहृत निर्धारण विषयत्व रूपश्च. So by the षष्ठी or the saptami, the meaning conveyed is the sambandha, avayava avayavi. Nr is the samudaya is the avayavi and brahmana is an avayava, and also that nirdharana, that this is being separated. Tatascha manushya samudaya ekadesha bhutaha dvija upadharmakaha. So he has that special quality of being shrestha, which is not present in other parts of that samudaya. Gavam Goshuva Krishna Bahukshira. Gavam Goshu, among the cows, Krishna, the black cow, Bahukshira, is the one which gives a lot of milk. Bahukshira. Now this is a guna. Bahukshiratva is a guna which is present in the, the Krishnatva is a guna which is present in the cow. You are separating it based on color, a guna, right? So in the previous case you separated Brahmana based on the jati. Here you are separating Krishna, that is a black cow. So from the group of cows you are separating a few cows based on their quality, the guna of being Krishna. Okay, so they have that what is a svetara vyavritta dharma. So to separate there should be some dharma which is unique to that, and here that dharma which is unique is bahukshira, giving a lot of milk or producing a lot of milk. Gavam goshuva iti. Gunena prakaranam udaharati gavam goshuva iti. So here the nirdharana is based on guna. Said jati guna samya kriyabhihi atra gunena nirdharanam. Go samudaya ekadesha bhuta krishna gauhu. Svetara vyavritta bahukshirattva rupa dharmika ityarthaha. So similarly, gacchatam gachatsuva dhavan shighraha. So among people who are moving or going, dhavan shighraha, the one who is running, will be quicker or faster. Now there is a group of people who are going. From that you are separating those who are running. So tatra nirdharanam kriyaya, you are separating it on the basis of the action of running. Kriyaya nirdharanam kriyate. And there the prakaranam, the unique dharma which is there in those is the shighra. They are quicker than the others. So kriyaya prakaranam udaharati gacchatam gachatsuva iti. गच्छत् समुदायैकदेशभूतः धावन् स्वेतर व्यावृत्त शैघ्यधर्मिकः इत्यर्थः. छात्राणां छात्रेषु वा मैत्रः पटुः. छात्राणां छात्रेषु वा, among students, Maitra. Maitra is the name of a person. He is patuhu. He is an expert. He is good. Now you are separating Maitra from the group based on the samnya, by name. You are separating an individual by name. Jati guna kriya samyabhihi samudayad ekadeshasya prakaranam nirdharanam. Yasmat tataha shashti saptami. So in all cases on the group you have shashti or saptami. So samyaya prakaranam udaharati chhatranam iti. Chhatra samudaya ekadeshabhutaha maitra nama svetara vyavritta patutva dharmakaha. So he has that expertise which separates him from the group. I can either say Chhatranam Maitrah Patuhu or Chatreshu Maitrah Patuhu. So both vibhaktis are used very widely in sense of Nirdharana. Yes, the Vibhuti Yoga. He says completely this. Whatever he says, Sashana Makarashchasmi, whatever. I mean, the whole thing where he says that he is something or that, everything he has, mostly he has used Shashti, I think, in that, right? Kirti Shri Vakchanarinam. Yes, mostly he has used Shashti, but you can also use Saptami in all those cases. Agryam Sutram asti Panchami Vibhakte. So, padadvayam asti yatascha nirdharanam iti anuvartate. Vibhagaha vibhaktam. Vibhakta means vibhaga, where there is a separation, okay, division. So, vibhagaha vibhaktam iti. So, if you look at the vyakhyana, bhave ktapratyayashrayanat iti bhavaha. So, ktapratyaya is in bhave, which means the act of dividing or separating. यतश्च निर्धारणम् इति अनुवर्तते. निर्धारण अवधिभूतानां मनुष्यादीनां निर्धार्यमाणानां द्विजानां च सामान्यात्मना अभेदः विशेषात्मना भेदश्च स्थितः. एवञ्च निर्धारणे सर्वत्र कथञ्चित् भेदस्य सत्त्वात् विभक्तः इत्यनेन भेद एव इत्यर्थः विवक्षितः. ततश्च यत्र निर्धारण अवधेः निर्धार्यमाणस्य च भेदः एव न तु केनाप्युपात्तरूपेण अभेदः तत्रैव अस्य प्रवृत्तिः. What he says is, whenever you are separating the previous case nirdarana, if you say Gavam Goshuva Krishna, now this Krishna Gauhu, these black cows and the cows, there is a abheda. If you just take the property of being a cow, there is abheda. If you take the property of being a black cow, there is bheda. So there is both bheda and abheda. You can say it as an samanyena gauhu ityapi vaktum shakyate, vishishya krishna gauhu ityapi vaktum shakyate. Here he specific. Therefore, in all cases of nirdharana, there is division or separation. Bhedaha astyeva. Kintu vishisho abhedaha. So where the two things which you are comparing are completely different and are not one in any sense. Okay? So there you have this sutra applying. Look at the example. Nirdharyamanasya yatra bhedaha eva. That is, you are not separating a part from a whole. Yes, which do not have distinguishing between two different groups. Not distinguishing a sub is where you take out the ekadesha from the samudaya. Here you are separating two different samudayas. Okay, one is bhavati. So let us look at the example first. Mathuraha Pataliputraka Adhyataraha are more prosperous or more rich than a separate samudaya, and Pataliputrakaha is a separate samudaya. There is nothing Tyopi abhedaha bhavati kintu. Here it is intended as two separate group, two separate vibhakte. So idanim Pataliputrakebhyaha adhyata groups, you have panchami vibhakti. Mathuraha Pataliputrakebhyaha adhyataraha. So now we look at the vyakhyana. निर्धार्यमाणस्य निर्धारणम् इति अनुवृत्तेः अत्र अवधि व्यावृत्व धर्मवत्व बोधनमेव. So here it just indicates that the one which is being separated has a special quality, vyavritta dharma. Okay, here the dharma is the dharmavatva bodhanameva, natu samudayad ekadeshasya ityamshah vivakshitah asambhavat. It is impossible because there is separation. Mathuraha iti avadhitvam panchamyarthah. Mathuradeshiyaha पाटलीपुत्रदेशीयापेक्षया अतिशयेन आढ्याः इत्यर्थः. अत्र मथुरादेशीयतो पाटलीपुत्रदेशीयत्वयोः गोत्व अश्वत्ववत् विरोधात्. They are opposed to each other. Like go, it cannot be an ashwa. If it is an ashwa, it cannot be a go. Similarly here, if he is Mathura, he is not a Pataliputraka. If he is a Pataliputraka, he is not a Mathura. So virodhat kathanchidapi tadrupena na abhedaha iti nirdharana avadhehe panchami. So in such cases you have panchami. That is if you are comparing two separate groups, you have panchami. If it is shashti or saptami. Okay. So we'll stop here and we will hopefully complete the Saptami Bhakti Prakarana in the next class. Any questions? Munitrayan namaskritya tadukti paribhavya cha vayyakarana siddhanta kaumudiyam virachyate. Yes, but it does not make a sense because there again you have to say what is Nirdharana and what is Vibhakta, because this is very closely. That is why, even Dikshitar cannot alter the Ashtadhyayi scheme, because he has to say it is Nirdharana. Tasya Nirdharanam is an Anuvritti. Then he has to define what is Nirdharana and so on, which properly belongs in Rishti or Saptami, so he gives this. So he is not very strict about saying, okay, only this. It depends on the logical. But yes, if going by the strict sense as it gives Panchami Bhakti, this should have been in Panchami Bhakti Prakarana. Okay. Thank you.
The organizer has ended this session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.